Welcome back. Disclaimer here, trading stocks is very risky. My results are not typical. Typical result of an average trader will be to lose money. Keep in mind you're accountable for your own decisions and that there's no guarantees that watching my content will improve your trading. That being said, today's recap, finishing the day just over 2,000 with 188 trades and 800,000 in total volume. If I go to reports, we'll see here that had a 1.5 to 1 profit loss ratio and an over 50% win rate. All good. And then let's see here. Price and volume. A bit spread out today on the price ranges I was trading. So that was good news. And then in terms of time of day, a lot of it was made. Some of it was made pre-market. I don't have those recorded. I'll show you where it was though on the chart. And then going into the open, that's where I made the most, the first half hour, and the second half hour, and then tapered off here and gave some profit off the top. I believe at my highs I was at like 2400, so giving back 3 to 400 off the top. Not exactly the best, but our biggest loser was only 200, biggest winner was 370, so still good in that area as well. If I go to, let's see, here's the video. So some news. ICCT was the main catalyst today for any of the other moves that really happened. And that's because ICCT yesterday it halted pending news right here at 550 area. It just halted in the middle of the day and didn't resume until pre-market around 20 minutes before the market opened. At 6. Actually, it looks like it was at 9 a.m. Eastern. So it resumed at 9 a.m. Eastern, a little bit lower, right here at like 5:30, and instantly made a dollar a share move up. And the thing is, psychology-wise, everyone was expecting ICCT to drop like $3 a share, down to back to where it came from at $2 a share. So the fact that it hadn't was a very bullish indicator. It meant that the price was holding up. It doesn't really matter what the news is at this point. It just, the fact that the price itself is not down $3 a share was the only bullish indicator I needed and a lot of other traders needed to start jumping into this thing pre-market. So on this first pullback, I made sure that the price was holding up. It wasn't just going to flush down to $4. And because that first pullback did not flush, it did not start going into a downtrend. I used this first little wick right here as as another bullish indicator, and on this next candle, I start taking positions, 250 shares, for the break of 6, back to highs at 6, I believe it was like 630. And then high of day yesterday was 750. So I was watching this for break of 6, 7, and then 750. Using 250 shares, I got in, was instantly up like a dollar a share, took it off, and then once I realized that it was the price was moving a lot more than I anticipated, because I was using 250 shares anticipating like a 50-cent risk, or maybe like 30 to 50-cent risk, so losing about like $80 if I was wrong. But this thing ended up ripping a dollar a share, which means it could easily rip down a dollar a share, which means technically my risk might have actually been $250. And because of that, I end up sizing down on this next leg because I don't exactly want to get caught and be red super early in the day, like I was previously this week. Being red super early means that I can't size up into anything that follows. because I'll be in recovery mode instead of adding profits onto the day mode. So making sure I stick now that I was green 200 on the day, I want to make sure that I keep that. So I sized down to 170 or 125 shares, and then I'll add on some of the trades. I added back up to 250 shares, but I had to already be in the money for me to add to a trade. So basically, I would get in here for break of 7, and then I would add at 750, already up 50%, already up 50 cents on my initial entry. I would add at 750 for the break of yesterday's highs, and then take profit into the 850 area. And because pre-market there's no halts, when we do peak out, we do get a little bit of a drop as well. So we dropped $1 a share off the highs, and then we went into the consolidation right here, and this is where I ended up. I think I just I stepped away. I used the restroom, refilled my water, and then came back for the market open. I was up 400 on the day at that point, and going into market open, I was watching ICCT and NAOB. So that's pretty much the backstory to how this recording started. So here comes the open. We're watching ICCT here for break of 8, in there at 82, halt ups at 20. I'm already up $95 going into this halt. Now, because usually I would have sold half, but because of how bullish I thought this move was, I hold the entire position into the halt because I'm thinking, hey, we might just get a gap up to 950. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, we might just get a gap up really, really high. So I switched tickers. AGIL's ripping up at the open here. Watching this one for above 31. Let's see, seller there at 30 or 29. Big buyer comes in at 29 or 28.70. Let's see here. Yeah, so ARAV, I take a couple trades here as it curls back up to 16 cents. Still small size because I haven't traded these ones yet, so keeping the small size until it proves itself to me. And let's see here. So a bit of a slow start other than the ICT resumption, or the ICT halt up. So pretty slow, and then on resumption here, it's showing a flat resumption, so I'm thinking about selling right away. And on resumption, I hit the sell button as soon as it shows like 815 by 820. So yeah, out there at 820, and it drops 20 cents on me. Or it drops 20 cents after I was out, and then it goes right into the halt down. It's showing halt down. I'm watching it, and as soon as it's kind of like showing that it's going to halt down, switch focus to NAOV, which is at its high a day in terms of like just going from red to green on the day. Take a few trades there. Let's see here. I forget which ones I was green on, or how I. 1 second here. Yeah, so NAOV, ICCT, ARAV, and AXLA are the ones I was green on. So NAOV here. This one was giving me trouble though early. You'll see I get chopped out a little bit on 1,000 shares. Trying to buy this dip as a rejected VWAP. Trying to get profit out at 208. No. Taking it off there at 05. Couple more smaller trades. XLA pushes up towards VWAP. And ICCT, I'm watching resumption here. It's not resumed yet. Oops. Yeah, so AXLA, I'm watching this VWAP break. So I'm getting a position here. Here, I'll go back a little bit more. Big buyer there at 41.50. I'm going to buy here 10,000 shares with the stop at 41.50. So my risk is nothing on this initial 10,000 shares. I'm adding there at 42. And if anything, I'll take a 5,000 share or 5,000 share half a penny loss. So $25 is my risk. So with $25 as my risk to sell at 41.50, I'm looking to hold this thing for the bigger move through 43. Because it's not often you get to get a large position with basically zero risk. So watching adding again at 43 up to 20,000 shares, max size. There's 44, taking half off at 43.90 and 43.20. Adding some back at 43.90. And then watching. During this moment, NAOB was actually ripping towards its halt level, so I missed that trade. But I had a pretty big winner here, so it was okay. I believe I take the rest of this off for break even. Not too sure. Yeah, as it comes back down to 43, I take the rest off. So it's rest off for a loss. NAOB here, I'm watching the pullback. Let's see, in there at 35. I've sized down to only 500 shares on this one because I wasn't really clicking too well with it just yet. So 500 shares, taking half off, adding it back. I'm watching for 50. 50 is the high on this move. And pre-market pivot. Taking it off as it doesn't go. Another break-even trade. So it's just watching this range, seeing if we can get that move up towards 250. Trying to find out where it wants to bounce off of though. It just bounced off 35 there. Seller at 45. Small buyer at 42. 44. And they're at 45. The break at 50. Taking it off at 46. Pretty bad fill there. Back in at 49. Out at 68. Let's watch that again. So it's just about to break 50. I'm in at 44. Taking it off as 50 rejects. So out at 46. And then as 50 comes back into the picture and we're getting green on the tape, I hop back in and in there at 49, 500 shares, and taking it off at, let's see here, it's showing 67 by 70. Well, where did I get filled? So in at 49, showing 67 by 79. I'm getting out here. I already hit the button to sell as soon as it popped. Getting out at 68. It's not a bad fill considering when I hit the button it was between 67 and 70. So yeah, I was wondering if on that trade I missed out on 10 cents. If I had hit the button just a microsecond later, I would have had another $50. But it ends up sticking to the halt level just a little bit, but not really. You'll see this bid size is increases, then it decreases. It's not really sticking. So I'm watching it for watching for that dip out of the halt level, and then watching it come back up to the halt level. So I took 1,000 shares there at 70, watching this for the retest of the halt level. So watching 79. Is it going to hold 79 this time? Is the halt level going to move up? taking it off at 79 as this halt level looks like it's gonna thin out one more time, which ends up, I think this ends up being the wrong move because 290 is right there, pre-market highs, and this halt level is about to move back up. So I think right here, does it move up? So it's 279, there's 288. Back in at 270, watching 279. 270 is not really budging, so I'm getting back out, small loss. Watching 70 again for the break. Is 70 gonna break? There's 75, taking it off at 72. Ooh, only out at 72. Bit of a bad fill there. Um, Watching now the break of 80, pre-market the high of this day. So in there at 75, watching 80. There's 80, big seller. Is it gonna break? There's 83, 85. Holding this, holding it. So I was holding there for the break of 90, 290 pre-market highs. So I was holding for that bigger move. I didn't take off the winner that I had, which was 10 cents. But I was holding for the bigger move, watching 290. Watching 290 here. Taking a quarter off, just in case it does come back down on me. Watching 290. Is it going to break? There's 88. 88, 89, 90. There's 93, halt up. Oh, I didn't take profit there. 93, halt up. There's 301 now. 301, taking another half off or quarter off at 91. Watching 301 for the halt up. Rest out 92. I should be adding back here. Yep, adding back at 95 for the rip back up to 301. Watching 3. A bit of a sell wall at 3, so watching it. Taking it off at 98. I think I get back in here one more time on this dip here. Let's see. Yeah, in there at 89,000 shares. So on that dip, in at 89, and I'm looking at this thing towards 3 again. Ends up coming back down on me, so I take it off break even. I get back in as soon as it holds up. I take a small loss there. One more time, I'm trying 90. So in there at 91. I'm wanting this to hold 90. So it's coming back down on me. There's 82 on the bid. But we do hold up. There's 95. Taking half off 95. Adding back at 97 for the break of 3. Is it going to hold? There's 3. Is it thinning out? Thinned out a little bit, so I'm holding a little bit more. And I think this one bites me. No. This one was the thing is, I had to not let the price action, like fluster me out of the trade. So with NAOV, it was moving like 10 cents within my position. So I'd be looking for the breakout of 3, and it would flush down to 290, and it would still right away come back up to 298. And basically, if I had sold at 290, I'd be taking these little paper cuts over and over again for the break of 3. Whereas if I'm holding through these little dips, and it's benefiting me a little bit because I'm not getting flustered out of a trade that could be a winner. So right there it breaks. There's 23. Look at that. Trying to get out there, out at 23, the rest of my position. So I took half off at 95, and I took the rest off at 323 for a nice winner. So now is 323 gonna halt? It's kind of still fading, so I'm looking. Are we gonna get another thing on NAOV is when it was chasing the halt level, typically when it chases the halt level, when a stock chases the halt level and it pulls back off of the halt level, I'll typically buy that pullback for it to come back up to the halt level. But with NAOV, what I noticed is when it was chasing the halt level, so if it was chasing 323 there, as soon as it doesn't hold and the bids they crumble and they fall back down, I was watching for the second pullback. So it would pull back once. Here you'll see 316 by 319 and halt level ups at 323. typically I'd be buying right here for it to come back up to 323 and get those 4 cents plus whatever it moves up, because usually the HALT level will move up if it doesn't stick right away. So, yeah. Oh, I guess this way. Let's go back 1 second. So here's it showing 18 by 20. 20's holding in there at 20 or 19. There's 23. Is 23 gonna rip up? There's 35 now, taking off half at 24, taking off the rest at 17 for a loss. And there's 35. So that last exit was a little bit bad, because I'm in at 1850, and let's see. It goes down to 17 just for a microsecond, and then it shows 21 on the bid. And then boom, 35. So now it's showing 35, it's pulling back, 30, in there at 27, watching 30. Out at 20 probably, no? Okay. Probably get out here. Yeah, big seller comes in at 24, out there at 23. 24 holds up, adding back at 25, watching 30, 35 high a day. 35 high a day, watching the break. Only broke by a penny. I should have gotten out already. Yeah. So they're out at 33. There's 37. Only took off half. Watching this for 40 now. 45 is high. HALT level up. 53 HALT up. Ends up coming back down on me, so I'm out at 29. And this is only the first 20 minutes of the day, so I'm gonna have to fast forward a little bit if we're gonna get through this recap in a timely manner. But it keeps on chasing HALT levels, and we get a nice dip there, which ends up dipping further. So I think I got caught in that. ICCT, HALT resumption. It's resuming higher, so I'm buying here. I didn't buy there. Oh, I was thinking about buying there at 40. I didn't. And then 766 is the HALT up, so I'm watching this for 50. So I'm in at 50. There's 83. So in at 50, out at 80 on 250 shares. So nice winner there. I had to go check my fill because I was like, wait, did I actually get filled at 50 on my entrance? I did. So I was like, okay, nice. So it's pulling back off, watching the second dip. There we go, in there at 75. Ooh. There's 90, there's 8, 816's HALT up. So adding there at 8. So 375 shares, watching 816. Out at 92, back in for the break of 8. It's not holding up, out at 90. So are we going to get back over 8 here? So it's a little bit of green there. And at 81 when that green showed. Here, I'll go back. Get that green at 81. I'm watching 81, so I'm getting in here at 81 as that green continues. There's 90, 96, 97, watching 8 break. Adding as 8 breaks. There's 813. Taking some off at 809, half off 809, and watching 820 for the rest out. Are we going to get back over to 820? Taking the rest off at 803, just before it breaks to 20. So back in, a little bit higher there on that add. Yeah, I realized that. I cut it for a 10-cent loss. Back in on the dip below 8. Is it going to hold back over 8? That's my question. There's 812. Ooh, 812 by 11. Back down below 8. So I probably should have sold limit order there on the ask at 810. Back in as 8 holds. Is it going to hold 90? It's holding 90 for now. Still looking. Out some at 801 and the rest out at 804. Small winner. Okay, fast forward a little bit here. Couple of small winners on ARIV as it squeezes here. Okay, wait. Alright, ARIV here. Big seller there at 19. I'm getting in here as 18 holds. It has retested 18 for the last 30 seconds. As it's holding, I'm building a position here at 1850. 5,000 shares. Adding there at 1890 for the break of 19. Getting another 5,000 shares in because I really want to see this break that 19 seller. I want to see 1850 hold. We're in at 1870, a little bit high, but we have that big buyer there coming in at 1860 and 1870. Watching this tape, and that seller at 19, it's starting to break, so I'm adding heavy, 25,000 shares. 1950 has a buyer that I can sell into if I want to. Taking a quarter out at 1950. Is it holding up? Is it going to break for 20? Are we breaking for 20? There's 1980. There's 1990. Holding this. Taking another quarter off at 1990. Watching break a 20. There's 1999. Watching 20. It's coming back down on me, so I get out the rest at 1970. Looking for another entry. Let's see here. Big buyer comes in at 19. In there, 10,000 shares. Break back over 50, or 1950. Is it going to break back over at seller at 1952? Let's see. It's kind of struggling. Sold half there for break even. Rest out break even. And let's see here. Watching again for that 20,000 shares for the break of 1970. Took it off for a small profit, or a small break even. Seller comes in at 1950. Getting in as that seller kind of comes back down, but then it refills, so I get back out, break even. Watching this dip to 19. Is that seller gonna hold, or is that buyer gonna hold? Nope. Back now I'm watching. Oh wow. So I noticed in the corner of my eye, ICCT was ripping up towards its halt level up and near high a day during market hours. High a day at this point was like 18 or 820, I believe, something like that. So 841 is the halt up, and I'm watching 820 break for the pre-market or the high of this day. So in there, oh, got the high fill at 39, out at 41. So break even trade. I was really hoping for that fill at 18 or at 820. That would have been a nice trade, but ended up getting filled pretty high. And then let's see, starting to fill up. It doesn't halt though. So watching the second dip in there at 35. Out there at 16 for a small loss. I remember on one of these trades I got a really good fill. I don't remember which one though. Is it here? Don't remember. Yeah, out there at 809. And then yeah, out the rest break even. Let's see this one, and at 69, looking for that break of highs. There's 9 out at 95 and 93. Holding a little bit more, adding back for the break of 9. 905 halt up. Watching 919 halt up. Adding back at 85. Watching 9 break. There's 919. Out at 917. Very nice fill there. Putting me up 1800 on the day. Watching this dip. I didn't buy 73 there? Oh, okay. I might have been scared because it just dropped 50 cents. So back in there for break over 9. Out at 909. Nice fill. Back in 909. Out there at 902. Comes back up. Buyer at 910. In there at 914 for break of 20. There's 30. 930 halt up. Tried throwing out an order to sell half. Wasn't getting filled. Probably should have cut it. Let's see. Yeah, ends up coming back down on me. Then, let's see here. Is a hold 9. It's breaking down 9, so I'm at 903. Okay, 928. From our high is at 940 for halt level up. Bit of a high fill there, so I'm out pretty early. So I'm giving back about 100 off the top now. Then yeah, so a couple more trades on ICCT. Couple more trades on NAOV. Right here for break of 3. There's 305, out there 304. NAOV makes a second move here, I believe. Yeah. So NAOV making the break of 337 high a day. So I'm watching this for high a day. 72 is the halt up. Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yep. I remember this one. I had just taken a nice winner on the breakout of 20 in here at, let's go back actually, on this sequence of trades. So I'm in here at 3 on this dip trade right here. Let's go back actually. Let's go through this sequence and that'll be the last one for today. So in here on this dip trade, 1,500 shares. Watching it over 310, taking half off at 305, another half out at 309. And as that wick's going green and 315 starts showing, taking another half out and watching 20. Are we going to add at 20 here? Adding back at night 15 here. There's 25. There's 30. Taking it off at 25. I'm realizing the high a day is 337. I'm getting back in here for the break of 337. Watching 337. Boom. So I had already hit the buy button. You'll see it says accept buy 1,000 shares of NAOB at 334. So I hit it as 335 was breaking for the break of 337. We already have 43 here, and you'll see if I just hit play really quickly and hit pause, there's 48, 72 within a microsecond. And look, my order just showed up on Thinkorswim, but I'm already in. It already executed. It says I'm in at 334.96. So I'm in there at 35. Price is at 72, 1,000 shares. Up 370 unrealized. Take it off the second I see that I was got the nice fill. In there at out there at 372. Puts us up almost 2,300 on the day. I believe this is my high benchmark. I think I have a couple more trades. I think I hit 2,300 for a moment. If I go and scroll through here. Actually, no, that might have, yeah, 23 for a moment. And gave some back off the top. Right there, and yeah. So I ended the day 2,200, and then on the final trades, as I was closing down the platform, I saw TIO was breaking a high a day. I don't have this recorded, but it was breaking highs of 125. and I was getting in here for the break of 30 and made a small profit there on that one, but then I end up taking a bigger loss on this one, putting me at up only 2,000 on the day. So taking a initial entry at 30, and I guess I added on this dip. It was a very quick dip down to 126. Added on the dip brought me to an average of 128. And I remember it was moving a little bit slowly, so it was 127 by 128, and I was down a penny on the bid on 5,000 shares, and I was up, and I was break even on the ask, or something like that. Or was it might have been 26 by 28. I think that was what it was, because if it was 27, I would have sold at 27, but it was 26 by 28, and I was in at 28 with 5,000 shares. And I was like, I don't want to sell for $100 loss if it's just going to pop through 28 like a couple seconds later. So not selling for the 2-cent loss means that when it did break 26 and it flushed down to 24, I ended up selling for a 4-cent loss. So a little bit of a greed there where I lost an extra $100 because of not wanting to own the fact that I had messed up and it was already oversized in the trade. So that was the final trade of the day. After that, I cut the day at 2012 to be exact, and then yeah, it was overall a great day. Lots of great action, lots of halting action. Surprise resumption on ICCT during the pre-market. Was able to make 400 on it pre-market, putting me up a good portion on the day, where once the market opened, I could be aggressive at the open because I already had that cushion, which led to being in a position where I could size up on everything else as well. When you're already up 500, 600 going into the first couple minutes, and your and your max loss is 250, it puts you in a very good position on the day where you can just kind of not have to worry about catching a small loss that puts you red, because it's not going to happen. You're already in the green. Yeah, so we have one more day in August. That's tomorrow, and we'll be wrapping up August tomorrow. Hopefully with only 6 red days. This last little stretch has been very, very nice ever since I implemented the max loss. I feel like I'm having less red days, even though I have a capped red amount. I feel like there'd be more red days when you have a capped max loss, because if you hit it, you have to stop. But I'm actually ending up having less red days, because when I do go red initially, I'm cutting my share size down significantly to the point where I can get out of this hole because I'm not in that big of a hole. If I'm only down $150, a couple good trades will get me right back out of the hole and back to green on the day. Which is why I have a couple more smaller green days. I have like 3 $200 days in the last 2 weeks. But I also only have 1 red day in the last 2 weeks, which is great. So, and that red day was controlled. It was only 300. Where my green days, they vary from 200 to 2,000, 3,000. But my red days are now capped at 200, 300. So it means that basically this green day will account for 10 red days. And 10 red days aren't going to happen for like another 2 months. Which means that the P&L curve is not going to do, it's not going to do what it's been doing. What it's been doing is it's been going like this. I'll make money, 2,000, lose 2,000. Make 500, lose 700. Make 3,000, lose 2,000. Make 1,000, lose 1,500. Make 1,000, lose 1,500. Make 2,000, lose 1,000. This is what my P&L curve has looked like for the last 2 months. This right here. However, what it looks like right this last 2 weeks. How do I? 1 second. What it looks like this last 2 weeks, it looks like this. It looks like up 200, up 600, $2,000 day, $2,000 day, $200 red loss. And this right here, let's go right here. This is how you get profitable, because this right here, this is scalable. And this is scalable very well, because this red loss, guess what? The following day, $200 winner. Not fully out of the hole, but guess what? The next day, $200 winner. I'm already out of the hole with just 2 small green days. And then guess what? The next day, which is today, 2,000. Look at that. This is a very smooth curve, and the pullbacks only look like this. The pushes up look like that. So eventually this line will just have a very nice trend line just going up, which is great. I know this recap's a little bit on the longer end. It's because there was a lot of different stocks that were moving today, not just one. Had to cover all of them. And yeah, take care, guys. I'll be back tomorrow for the last day of August, and then we'll do a month in review probably this weekend, maybe tomorrow if I have time, but probably this weekend. We'll do the August month in review. All right, take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and finish out August strong tomorrow.